Hello, hello. This is SFF Release Day for July 5th, 2016. We're going to be talking about what's new in SFF for this week. If you haven't watched this before, I basically take up a half hour of your life talking about new books that are coming out today and checking them out on Goodreads, seeing who's read them and seeing if they're any good. This is the way that I keep up with new releases to find out what's going on in the SFF world. Kind of keeps me attached to like the pulse of the science fiction and fantasy world because I am a backlist reader. I don't read a lot of new releases. I buy a lot of new releases, but I don't read them. So this is a way for me to keep up with new releases. Okay. Let me go ahead and tweet out real quick that I'm doing this. SFF Release Day 475 is now live. Very cool. Alright, thank you for joining me. If you're joining me live, if you're watching the recording, that's awesome too. Thank you so much. I go to Barnes & Noble Fantasy, Science Fiction and Fantasy blog. It is a great resource for science fiction and fantasy books. What's coming out? Joel Cunningham every week puts up a blog post that is highlighting the books of the week. They also do a lot of great stuff on here, and I really like their blog. Even though it's run by a large company, I think they're doing it in a way that feels very amateur blogish and very cozy in feel, and it just works for me. Alright, so here we go. Starting off. First book is The Heroine Complex by Sarah Kuhn. This from the cover right there, it looks pretty fun. Kuhn envisions a world in which the only thing more common than demons attacking our city are the superheroes who exist to fight them. In this chaotic setting, we meet Evie Dankana, who runs public relations for Evita Jupiter, superhero, diva, and a most demanding client. Evie is equal parts smart, funny, and great at her job, one that becomes infinitely more complicated when she attends an event for Evita and is attacked by demons and is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She's superpowered too. Kuhn's genius plot juggles Evie's sudden need to accomplish two jobs as pure maven and superhero. The workload may literally kill her. Romance, adventure, and kick-butt action sequences and killer cupcakes combined to make this a great example of how weird and wonderful urban fantasy can be in the right hands. This sounds like urban fantasy with a great female-oriented, having fun type twist without all the para-romance type stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and check out the Goodreads for this one. Whoop, that's my Twitter account. There we go. Heroine Complex. Right now it has a 3.93 with 45 ratings. It is from DAW. Paperback, 368 pages. Not bad. Friends that want to read it. There's a few. No one really has reviewed it. Mogsy from Biblio Sanctum, I believe. Let me make sure. I always forget the names of... Yeah, Biblio Sanctum, one of my favorite bloggers. She only gave it a 2, so that's not that great. I'll see any other people say anything about it. We got a 5 from this person. Just looks like it's a fun, refreshing take on a superhero story. So if that sounds interesting to you, you might want to check this out. Alright, moving on. The Dinosaur Nights by Victor Milan. Now, the Dinosaur Lords sold a lot, but no one really actually liked it. So I'll be interested to see how this one does. Return to the Empire of Nueva Europa for the second installment of Milan's giddy mashup series mixing old school epic fantasy tropes with 5-year-olds' imagination's worth of dinosaurs. The title really tells you everything you need to know. This book drops you right back into the action. A mercenary and a skilled dinosaur whisperer, Rob Corrigan, have devoted themselves to protecting pacifist cities against the Empire's invading crusader hordes. A princess and her companion escape the clutches of a despotic duke, and as rumors of the return of an ancient avenging angels sweep the land, those in power begin a bloody campaign to rid the realm of sin in the hopes of staving off the creature's wrath. Plus, dinosaurs. From everything I've heard, the dinosaur part is actually not that important in these books. It's just kind of an afterthought. Right now it has a 3.57 on Goodreads with 7 ratings. This is from Tor, hardcover, about 450 pages. And no one has read it yet that I follow. There's not... Yeah. Let's check out the first book. Just because. The first book has a 3.03 rating. Probably the lowest I've seen a Tor book ever have a rating that low. 916 ratings. Caitlin, Kitty G, gave it a 1. DJ, a viewer that follows me, he gave it a 2. Another 1. Miriam P from Curious SF Reader, another 1. Frank gave it a 2. 2s, 1s. There's no way I'm going to read these books. Okay, moving on. Underground Airlines by Ben Winters. That sounds interesting. Winters' first novel since the conclusion of the apocalyptic Last Policeman series is a compelling alternate history set in the present day of an America in which the Civil War never happened. Slavery still exists in 4 states, the Hard 4, and a black man named Victor, a bounty hunter for the U.S. Marshals, tries to forget his plantation upbringing as he pursues a fugitive and leader of an abolitionist movement across an American landscape that is utterly different from the one we know, yet all too terrifyingly mundanely similar. Interesting. Winters' ambitious novel has earned laudatory comparisons to Ralph Ellison's An Invisible Man and Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Strange literary bedfellows that indicate the strange unease in store for one in these pages. Interesting. Let's check this out on Goodreads. This is from Mulholland Books, and it has a 3.95 right now, 118 ratings. Shorter book, hardcover, 336 pages. I have a lot of people that marked it as want to read. No one has actually read it. Here we go. Moxie from Bibliosanctum gave it a 4. She needs to write the review still, but that's pretty good. She listened to it on audio. See, Richard Villette gave it a 2. Let's see why. Let's check out why he gave it a 2. The writing is clunky and the main character is wooden, trying to be compelling but never really getting there. Alright. Oh, then let's look at a number 5 rating. If you've seen the mockumentary CSA, the Confederate States of America, you've already a little primed for this novel. She says this is a chilling book. It's at times a classic spy novel, but set in an alternate reality that heightens the tension even more. And our main character complicated to the core. So this reviewer and the previous reviewer definitely think opposites. You'll be trying to figure him out through to the bitter end. I had trouble putting this down. An exceptional read. Alright, so this has very mixed ratings and reviews here. I'm looking forward to some people that I know reviewing this and checking this out. There's a chance for it to be good, but then there's a chance that it's just trying to cash in on a topic that is controversial. So I'm not a big fan of authors that do that. So we'll see. Okay, moving on. Flame Out by Carrie Arthur. This is Souls of Fire Series 3. This is on paperback. Arthur's third Souls of Fire book returns to a complex world in which people infected by the plague derived from vampire's blood have literally gone crazy. Their minds altered to the sickness. So this is pretty cut and dry type of paranormal urban fantasy type stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the good reads on this one. Flame Out. We have a 4 with a 26 ratings. Kindle edition. It is from Signet. There's a giveaway. Nobody wants to read this from my friends. Rachel W. DNF'd at 30%. There's nothing in this story that is grabbing my attention, and I'm tired of all the characters' sex lives, need for sex, hashed and rehashed. So this is probably not something I would really enjoy, but there definitely is a few people that might enjoy it. So yeah, some pretty mixed views, and that is Flame Out by Carrie Arthur. Alright, this is the Transference Engine. Thomas from SFF 180 actually started to read this, and he said that this was not that great. But is there an author name, such an author name as Julia Verne St. John? That is the quintessent author name. Paperback, steampunk alternate history invention meets dark magical intrigue in Julia Verne St. John's debut. That's the best author name ever. I love it. Which imagines a necromantic conflict involving Lord Byron, Ada Lovelace, and a fantastical machine with the power to transfer souls between bodies and grant the power of eternal life. Madame Magdala thought she would be free of Byron when she destroyed the Transference Engine, foiling his plans to unnaturally extend his life. But a cult of black sorcerers are devoted to Byron's resurrection and getting revenge on Magdala by forcing Byron's daughter, Ada Lovelace, the only one who can match his engineering genius, to rebuild the machines. Okay. Let's check this out on Goodreads. It only has 9 ratings so far, a 9.44. It is from Daw. 320 pages. Thomas, his first thing here says, "Oh wow, I'm not a good wow," and that was only the prologue. Let's see, Mogsy, Biblial Sanctum. Once again, she reads so much. She gave it a 3 out of 5, which is rather low on her side. Steampunk alternate history novel. She's one of the most anticipated for her. See what she liked at the very end here. Once this book got going, though, it really moved. All the setup in the first half of the novel paid off in the second, and I breezed through the story's climax and conclusion. If there's a sequel, I can see pacing improving since the foundation has already been established, and I would be very curious to continue the story. So there's definitely some pacing issues in this one. That's the Transference Engine by Julia Verne St. John. Steampunkish alternate history. Seems interesting. I don't want to be too mean on these books, but I don't know. I want to be truthful. I just want to talk about the books. I don't want to have to regulate how I talk about the books. So I'm just gonna talk about them. If they sound bad, I'm just gonna say they sound bad. Okay. Here we go. The Last Adventures of Constance Verity by A. Lee Martinez. I like this cover. I saw this cover on, I believe it was on Thomas's channel. Martinez has more fun than should be strictly legal, telling the story of Constance, who as a child made the mistake of asking her fairy godmother to grant her a life of impossible adventure. She's spent decades since doing just that, fighting evil monsters, uncovering ancient artifacts, and becoming one of the most infamous people in the universe. Now pushing 30, Constance is experiencing a serious case of the be careful what you wish for. As constant, the excitement has grown irritating. All she wants is a normal life and a quiet date with her unexciting blessedly dull boyfriend. So Constance sets out to track down said fairy godmother and undo the curse, resulting in possibly her most insane adventure yet. Martinez attacks a fantastic premise with gusto as Constance navigates a deliriously nutty universe filled with fae, monsters, and magical challenges to overcome. I think this sounds really fun. So far, this is the one that I'm most interested in out of these books. It has a 4.38 at the moment. It has 13 ratings. Fantasy, urban fantasy, adult, science fiction fantasy. This is from Saga Press, 384 pages. A couple people I know want to read it. Let's see, none of the people I follow have read it. Joe Johns says, the first in a planned trilogy for fans of old school pulp adventure. Sit back, strap yourself in, and enjoy a thrill ride filled with plenty of action, humor, impossible escapes, and quirky characters. Count me in on reading the next two. Mike here gave it a 5 as well. Gives the reader a non-stop undertaking of exploits and laugh out loud experiences. So this is definitely the feel-good, have fun book of the week. The Last Adventure of Constance Verity by A. Lee Martinez. I think this one looks good. What do you guys think? Here we go. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet finally gets its U.S. debut. I read this. I enjoyed this quite a bit. Becky Chambers. Chambers' debut was a Kickstarter success story, and then a hit in the UK, then a word-of-mouth ebook sensation in the US. You might recall spotting it on our list of 2015's very best SFF. The sequel comes out in October, too. Finally, it now exists as a glorious physical object for the stateside reader. The crew of the Wayfarer makes their living tunneling out wormholes that makes spaceflight truly feasible, just as it sets off on an extended mission to bring the gift of expedient interstellar travel to an alien race that has suddenly, suspiciously ceased its hostile stance toward all other forms of life. The aging ship welcomes its newest crew member. Rosemary signs on in order to escape her mysterious past, but finds that her secrets may be the most mundane among the ragtag group of flawed and endearing personalities. Naturally, everything that can go wrong does go wrong, and more than once. Chambers' episodic storytelling recreates the feeling of binging a whole season of your new favorite TV show, focusing on character development and messy interpersonal relationships, action, and battle sequences. But don't worry, there are plenty of those in store as well. This got a lot of hype last year, and even into this year. People just love this book, and it's good. I liked it too. It is very episodic. If short stories, episodic storytelling is not your thing, then maybe skip this one. But if you're all into interpersonal relationships, relationships crossing barriers, crossing species, this is definitely one for you. Almost 6,000 ratings. Becky Chambers is here to stay, and she's a very cool person too. 4.18. I give it a 4. I downgraded it to a 3 after a while. I liked it. Everyone else loved it. I mean, they loved it. Elizabeth, 5. Lindsay Ray gave it a 5. Sana gave it a 5. Caitlin gave it a 5. Catherine, Android's Gnome, 5. Otavio, 5. Rachel, 5. Chelsea, 5. Lisa from Tenacious Reader, 5. Everyone liked this book. 5s, 4s, 5s, couple 3s, 4s, 5s, bunch, like everybody on BookTube likes this basically. The lowest being 3s. So that's, yeah. This is one of those books that people will be talking about for a long time, and it's worth moving up on their TBR to check out. And it's worth reading just to talk about it with other people that have read it already, too. So yeah, that is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. The Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. Anthony Ryan's new book. The word swashbuckling might have been invented by Ryan's Bloodsong new fantasy epic. The world is dominated by the Iron Ship Trading Company, think the British Raj in the East India Company, and the hostile Corventine Empire. The trading company controls the Dragonlands, hunting the beasts for their blood, which can be made into elixirs that grant extraordinary powers to the blood blessed who can survive their consumption. Ooh, so gain power and strength by drinking dragon blood? Okay. What most don't know is that the population of drakes is falling. And if they disappear altogether, the trading company will have no defense against the Corventines. An unregistered blood-blessed, a spy, an assassin, and an Iron Ship naval officer will all have their roles to play in a desperate search for a legendary white drake in this rollicking, refreshing series starter. Yeah, so Anthony Ryan, new book. Bloodsong was great for a lot of people. I have yet to read it, but I want to. His series got worse as it went on. That's what a lot of people have said. But I'm hoping for good things with this one. The Waking Fire. This is the first book in the Draconis Memoria series. This is by Orbit. And let's see here. Any of my friends, have they reviewed it? Nope. Everyone has it marked to read. Let's see. Reviews from people you follow. A 4 by Jessica Strider. Pros, great characters, brilliant world building, a variety of action. Cons, lots of close shaves. Lots of close shaves. Huh. Mark Lawrence gave it a 5. Well written. This guy here, The View, gave it a 5. It's one of his top books of 2016. The View comes from fantasybookcritic.blogspot.com. So he's a pretty well-known fantasy reviewer. And Django Wexler, another author, gave it a 5. So people seem to like it. And it's definitely on the list of the most anticipated of the year. Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. 4s and 5s all around. Let's see. Let's read a low one here. Here we go. The Captain. Ahoy there, mateys. Let's see what he has to say. He gave it a 2. So I guess overall I wanted more from this novel. I found it dragging in places and it was extremely hard to get through. I was extremely conflicted writing this review because there was a lot of good in the novel in terms of ideas and characters, and yet it just wasn't a cohesive enough book for me as a whole. I don't even know if I liked enough of this to read the next book in the series. Yeah. So that's one of the negative reviews, but the majority of them are positive. So that is The Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. Give him another try. See if he can't deliver. The Copper Promise by Jen Williams. This is a book that came out in the UK, and I think now this is America release. Yeah. Williams' Coppercat series, a critically acclaimed bestseller in the UK, comes to America via Angry Robot. Cool. Windrin of Crosshaven is a seasoned adventurer for hire, trolling dungeons and hitting up alehouses alongside her companion Sebastian. He knows better than to accept a suspicious job from a nobleman who wants him to explore the rumors of caverns deep beneath the citadel, said to house wondrous wells and the most fearsome monsters known or unknown to man. It's probably a bad idea, but you won't get to be a seasoned adventurer without taking a few risks, right? This fun and addictive saga should find a welcoming home on U.S. shores. The Copper Promise, I've heard someone talk about it and say basically it is a dungeon romp. If you play any RPGs where you have to go in dungeons and you go like to the next level of the dungeon and you go down to another level, it's basically an entire book on exploring a dungeon. Let's see here. It has a 3.67 right now on Goodreads, 1,020 ratings. Angry Robot is doing this one. Caitlin gave it a 2. probably like a 2.5 or maybe a 3. Let's see what her final thing says. A book I enjoyed, had fun with, and sped through pretty quickly, so if any of that appeals, then maybe give it a go. Yeah. On a whole, I feel like maybe this book has great potential, but right now it's being buried under the references and tropes that Williams has borrowed from. I did still want to love this, but sadly it just fell a little flat for me when I realized that everything was a little too convenient for our characters and that there was no danger element. So, yeah, it's a little bit tropey, I guess. Monica gave it a 4. Catherine gave it a 3. See, Scott Marlowe gave it a 5. He enjoyed that. Scott likes sword and sorcery, have fun type books, so him giving it a 5 is cool. Michael Pauly gave it a 3. He's from Bitten by a Radioactive Book. Jonas Galen gave it a 5. Let's see. A lot of people want to read it. Not many people have. Christialia gave it a 4.75. She really liked it. Mogsy from Biblio Sanctum gave it a 4. Livio, the guy that we're talking about, fantasy blog critic, he just didn't care for it that much. He DNF'd it. So yeah, very mixed reaction to this book. I think if you like the idea of reading about an RPG of a group of people going down into dungeon level after dungeon level and experiencing that type of situation, I think you would enjoy it. Like, I would think that I would like it, but I'm not sure, you know? Here we go. The year's best science fiction, 33rd annual collection by Gardner Doze. And let's make sure I get the right thing on. Yeah. So it's the 33rd annual collection, so I have to type in actual 33rd. Science fiction. 33rd. Okay, there it is. Alright. This is a large paperback for about $15 here. This incredible annual arrives just in time to remind readers that short stories offer up some of the best writing in science fiction today. Living legend Gardner Doze once again assembles an anthology of incredible talent, including the likes of Anne Leckie, Paulo. I try to think of when other people pronounce this name on other videos. I still have a hard time. Bakagalupi and James S.A. Corey, among many others. A lengthy introduction offers Doze's, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing her name right. I think it's a lady. Nope, it is a guy. Yeah. I can't believe anyone watches this. Okay. I like the introduction offers Doze's considered commentary on the state of the genre, as well as a comprehensive reading guide for those looking for advice on what they might have missed over the last year. With more than 300,000 words of fiction, this is the equivalent of several novels worth of material, guaranteeing something is here for every kind of reader. Okay. Has 1 rating so far, so that's a 5. Year's best science fiction, St. Martin's Griffin. 720 pages. Wow. Can I get a list? No list. Okay, whatever. Here's the thing. If you want me to buy your anthology, you should list what stories are on the Goodreads. Bottom line, okay? Moving on. We're going to Amazon. These are the hardcover books that were released. Everything that was released today. Let's check these out, see if there's anything good. Seriously, just put the stories in the anthology listed. Just list them. Just copy and paste them. Like, seriously. Okay. Alright, we're in Amazon now. And need to calm down. Bestseller, The Art of Magic: The Gathering, Innistrad, by James Wyatt. There's the Underground Airlines by Ben Winters. Neil Gaiman's How to Talk to Girls at Parties. Listen. Neil Gaiman's How to Talk to Parties is a short story that was in Fragile Things, his anthology. And it is not good. Like, I don't understand why it's a hardcover book with pictures. No. I don't know. Some people might like it, but I thought it was terrible. And I like Neil Gaiman's short fiction. Moving on. Alliance of Equals, Weighted Universe by Sharon Lee and Steve Miller. That's a hardcover. Who's this from? A new Indian Universe novel. This is from... Oh. Ban. Yeah. B-A-E-N. How do you pronounce that publisher's name? This is book 19! Wow. Sharon Lee and Steve Miller. Book 19. Probably military SFF. If you like military SFF, there you go. Wow. The Hatching, a novel by Ezekiel Boone. The Hatching. An apocalyptic extravaganza of doom and heroism. Addictive. An astonishing, inventive, and terrifying debut novel about the emergence of an ancient species dormant for over 1,000 years and now on a march. Cool. I like it. The Hatching. A novel, in case you didn't know. That's another thing. If you have to put a novel next to your title, then you obviously don't have much confidence in your... I don't know. Maybe I'm just a jerk. Okay. The Hatching has a 3.86, has 272 ratings. Horror, thriller, sci-fi. So it's like horror, science fiction. Friends reviews: Leah Bear, End of the World type book. Give it a 4. I have an intense fear of spiders. So this is definitely a... Yeah. Keely, a person that I appreciate her horror reviews. She gave it a 5. That was disgusting and wonderful. So if you like horror books, you might want to check this one out. A novel. The Traveler, an event group thriller by David Goldman. Let's skip that one. The Horrors of Spring, a world made by hand novel. World made by hand. No, okay. Night of the Animals, a novel. It must be an Amazon thing, a novel. In its imaginative debut, the tale of Noah's Ark is brilliantly recast as a story of fate and family set in a near-future London. Cool. Over the course of a single night in 2052, a homeless man named Cuthbert Handley sets out on an astonishing quest to release the animals of the London Zoo. Huh. This is from Echo. 560 pages. Alright. I've already talked about those. Deadly Class. A deluxe edition. The Wolf Road by Beth Lewis. Elka barely remembers a time before she knew Trapper. She was just 7 years old, wandering lost and hungry in the wilderness when a solitary hunter took her in. In the years since then, he's taught her how to survive in this desolate land where civilization has been destroyed and men are at the mercy of the elements and each other. But the man Elka thought she knew has been harboring a terrible secret. He's a killer, a monster, and now that Elka knows the truth, she may be his next victim. Cool! The Wolf Road by Beth Lewis. That sounds fun. Let's see, 4.25. That's pretty good. 142 ratings. A debut literary thriller. Thriller, fiction, mystery. Lisa from Tenacious Reader gave it a 4. Leah Bear gave it a 4. Alright. 4s. 4s for everybody. No spoilers. Sounds kind of fun. I think it sounds fun. It's like The Revenant, only with one of his friends being a killer. Which is basically all his friends in The Revenant. Threading the Needle, Book 2 of Delay by Joshua Palmatier. Raven's Peak, Rolled on Fire by Laken Cole. The Eyes of the Setting Sun by Christian Madison. Alright. Let's check out what the paperbacks were. Oh, Saga Volume 6 is out, guys. If you're a big Saga fan. Batman and Robin, Internal Volume 2 by Scott Snyder. I'm a Scott Snyder fan. Sinner Spires comes out with a paperback. It's a Long Way paperback. Jupiter Circle, Volume 2. A couple things I've talked about. After Alice, the paperback came out. I've been curious about that by Gregory Maguire. I'm gonna look that up real quick because I want to see if any of my friends have read that. It's one of those thriller horror books. I need more horror reviewers on here. Wow! After Alice has a 2. I should show it. A 2.76. That is so low. What? 4,319 ratings. Tammy gave it a 3.5. Matthew gave it a 3. Entertaining. Mark to read. Cindy, not really what it was described in the summary. DNF'd. Wow, that is too wordy. Not a bit interesting to read. Gave up after 31%. Okay, so it's people that are upset that they pretty much demolished Lewis Carroll's book. Alright, now I understand why. Alright, let's see what else we got. Billionaire in Wolf's Clothing. Oh yeah. Departure by A.G. Riddle. Beyond the Woods, Fairy Tales Retold by Paula Gran. Let's check out this Departure thing real quick. Departure, probably something about a flight going down. Yep. A plane crashes and the world they crash in is very different than the world they left. So trying to... This is from Harper Voyager, trying to get that lost money. They're Interminables by Paige Orwin. Girl in the Shadows by Gwenda Bond. Let's check out the Interminables. It's 2012 and the magical cataclysm has shattered reality as we know it. From Angry Robot. That's okay. Hi Miranda. It's alright. Killing Titan. War Dogs by Greg Bear. Batman, Superman, and Philosophy. The Cobra War Trilogy by Timothy Zahn. The Conclave of Shadows by Missy Masters. There's a lot of things I've never heard of. Unbreakable, a novel by W.C. Byers. This looks exactly like the artist that does those other books that look exactly like this. Okay. Who publishes this? Oh, this is Tor. Unbreakable. The colonists of the planet Montana are accustomed to being ignored. Situated in the buffer zone between two rival human empires, their world is backwater, remote, provincial, independently minded. Even as a provisional member of the Republic of Aligned Worlds, Montana merits little consideration until it becomes a flashpoint in the impending interstellar war. Interesting. It's from Tor. Best of Ben Bova, Volume 2. From Bean. Cover Promise. High Ground by Melinda Snodgrass. Melinda Snodgrass is one of those people that have been around for a long time. Emperor's daughter Mercedes is the first woman ever admitted to the High Ground, the elite training academy of the Solar League Star Command. She must graduate if she is to have any hope of taking the throne. Okay, wrapping things up a little bit here. Let's make sure there's nothing really cool. The Netherlands by Emily Parker. Oath of the Vayu Petros. The Shiva. Look at this title. Come on. Seriously? What book are you reading right now? Oh, I'm reading the Oath of Vayu. Okay. Alright. I'm quitting that one. Oh, I messed it up. What'd I do? Stop. Alright. That's enough of that. I'm starting to get punchy. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope there was something here that someone really liked. And that someone enjoyed. For me, I have to come back to Waking Fire by Anthony Ryan. But I think The Last Adventure of Constance Verity by A. Lee Martinez seems like the book I would enjoy the most out of all these books. It just sounds like a very fun female spy thriller in space, urban, paranormal craziness. It just seems like a fun book. The Last Adventure of Constance Verity by A. Lee Martinez. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.